Hi everyone. WWE's 35th annual Royal Rumble is just days away from now, and to talk more about it, I have with me WWE superstar Dominik Mysterio. Dominik, thanks for joining us. And my very first question to you is: it will be your first Royal Rumble event to enter, and can you tell me about how you feeling? What will be your strategy entering this such a big event?
Honestly, I'm super excited to be a part of this Royal Rumble, in St. Louis. I think my main strategy is avoiding my dad because he got the upper hand on me last week and the week before that, so I definitely have to watch my back with him. But I've been watching a lot of his tactics too, and I don't know, man. I'm thinking hanging on the outside of the pole might leave me a couple minutes out there.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question to you. That interestingly, that in order to win a Royal Rumble match, you need to eliminate 29 other superstars, and one of them is your father, Rey Mysterio. So I was just going to ask you about what your special strategy. What's that? If you can tell me that, what are your preparations just to eliminate that your father, and how is like to be. What are your feelings about competing against your father in the Royal Rumble match?
I'm very excited to be able to compete against them because we've never officially been in the against each other. So I think this would be the first time. Um, in order to eliminate him, I would honestly think he would have to be distracted fighting someone else, and I would have to sneak up on him. Because last week when I tried to eliminate him, he turned the tables on me, and the week before that, he dumped me out. So I think he has to be distracted, and I have to sneak up on him in order for me to get the advantage.
Right, right. So, Dominic, talking about your father, Rey Mysterio, who is arguably the greatest luchador of all time. So, has he been an inspiration behind you for making a WWE career?
Oh, 100%. I think the fact that I grew up just, watching and having him around and, being in the storyline with Eddie Guerrero, another legend, is just been a huge blessing, and I've definitely tried to do my best to have a little bit of my father's style in there in my wrestling, but I think it's important to have a little bit of everything in there as well. But I would say he's definitely a huge factor of why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Talk about your first debut match in WWE that was against the Kingslayer Seth Rollins, who has beaten up the likes of Triple H, Brock Lesnar, and Roman Reigns. So, can you tell me about that experience, your very first match in WWE against Seth Rollins, and that too was a street fight?
Yeah, no, that's crazy, for me to debut on such a big stage like SummerSlam against someone like Seth Rollins, who's, one of the best to ever do it. It's honestly mind blowing and very humbling because I shouldn't be I shouldn't have done that. That's not normal. But it's definitely an experience that I'm very thankful and grateful for that I got to do. And like you said, a street fight out of all things for my first match. It just it just felt right. Nothing out of what was happening felt normal. So it was only right to throw some street fight in there.
And also, you and your father are the first father-son duo in WWE history to win SmackDown tag team titles. The day you won it, can you tell me about that? Then, what was your feelings, and what was your experience about winning title along with your father?
Oh man, I just remember I was so bummed out because I got taken out early before the match even started. I got taken out by Dolph and Bobby Roode, but I was able to come back. Um, I was able to hit that frog splash and get the victory for the titles. I think once that 3 count hit, it all felt surreal. It was also like we did it. Everything that we had talked about, you know, we were able to accomplish that. And not only that, but we have our sights set on the Raw tag team titles as well and make some more history as the first father son Raw tag team champions.
Actually, that match was not in front of the live audience. Your very first match in the front of live audience was in SmackDown back in the year,
Mm-hmm.
where you competed alongside Rated R superstar Edge and your father Rey Mysterio against the Bloodline, which is Roman Reigns and the Usos. So I just want to ask you about that experience, that of that live audience, and also what was the piece of advice that Rated R superstar gave you just before the match, going in front of that live audience?
I just remember, walking into the arena that day and everyone being so excited for me, because I had been, I think me and someone else were the only people who hadn't performed in front of a crowd yet. And man, I was so excited. I was like, I can't even explain it. I was just so excited to go out there. And I just remember right before we walked out the curtains, just Edge looked at me and he goes, "Hey, slow down." He goes, "Take it all in." He goes, "And have some fun." And I was
Yeah.
like, man, I was like, that's pretty hard. It's pretty hard to do right now, but I'm gonna do. I was like, my hands are as steady as can be. I was like, but let's do it.
And I would just like to take you back in time, those time when the very famous custody match happened in WWE, where your late uncle Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio fought for your custody, and you might be like 8 years old then. Do you have any memories of that match and what you can collect from that?
Of course, man. I remember that match very vividly. I remember sitting there in the front row next to some guy that had I believe it was a Mick Foley Cactus Jack shirt. And I remember sitting there with the social worker, and she was the one that was giving me my cues on what to do and what not to do and stuff. She was really helpful. But I just remember going in there, man, when Eddie started climbing that ladder, and just the way he was yelling at me when I was backing up into the corner. I mean, I knew he wasn't gonna hit me or do anything, but man, in that moment, it just felt so real. Just the way he was yelling and just, man, I'm gonna teach you what it means to be a Guerrero. And as soon as that hand lifts up, here comes my dad, man. That just everything just happened so fast right there. It was such a great moment.